Alright, so I actually gave a lot of thought to this, and this is how I'm going to, this actual, like, guide, I'm going to be explaining in this video, is how I'm going to review every fucking thing that I actually review on the show next, like, from movies, to fucking foods, to albums, or tracks. Alright, I even wrote this shit out now, man. So, this, this music, so this is the music credits section, okay? And this concurs to people who's in our underground community right now, up to the YouTube rappers, up to mainstream rappers. And the YouTube rappers is fucking Dax, Quateka, Futuristic, Crypt, and the mainstream is just people who are in the mainstream, you know? My fucking pimple just fucking keeps trying to be mainstream, you know, in this fucking video, so fuck off, man. But, no, for real, this is how I'm going to critic, and it's because of how I actually feel music should be. So, the beat volume. The beat volume shouldn't be too low, it shouldn't be too high, it should be right there in the middle where your voice is overcurring it, but not overcurring it, if that makes sense. Like, it just fits. Then the clarity of your voice should be perfectly crystal clear. There shouldn't be any reverb bathroom sounds. There shouldn't be any, oh, it's like those podcasters, or those, if you actually go on Spotify, look at meditation things, you can actually hear that sound. Whenever they start to speak, it's like, and then when they go off, it's like, and then they go, like, it has that little sound. If it has that, then it's a low, it impacts its clarity, like, it impacts their clarity score. And then on beat, if they can get on beat, which is a challenge for me to get onto, but if they can get on beat where it matches the, like, if they can get that, like, any type of beat like that, then that basically impacts their score for the on beat. And if they don't, and if they basically just, like, spaz off on that shit, it depends on the certain song though. But it can impact, or it can basically decrease your beat score. And then your rhyme schemes. You have to have very good rhyme schemes. From rhyme schemes that are just, like, creative. You don't even take any other people's, like, rhyme schemes, because if you take other people's rhyme schemes, that's not creativity at all. If you honestly basically come up with original rhyme schemes, you play with your words, you basically go rhyme to on and on and on and on throughout the whole entire verse, because I know there's some fucking rappers that do that, then that's perfectly fine. And that will help your rhyme scheme fucking score. And that's only because of the fact that, like, rhyme schemes are actually, to be honest, they're getting non-creative nowadays in the rap community. So that's why. And then emotion. You gotta have emotion, man. Whether, if it's hype emotion, if you're singing a hype song, you gotta have that emotion to get all you gotta go all hype, get all, like, happy, get all excited. That's the emotion for that song. If it's a sad, depressive, or angry song, you gotta get this stern, angry type of voice. This stern, angry, sad voice. That's the tone for those type of songs. And then regular chill mood songs, you gotta get, like, because that's emotion, that's just, like, chill type of vibe. And if it's just you, like saying the words, because there's some fucking words, Gucci Gang, that shit has no emotion at all. That shit fucking is a fucking 3 out of 10 song, man. Because it does have some good rhyme schemes, but literally, songs like that, they're trash. And that's literally what I'm going to be critiquing on. If you don't have emotion, then your score's going to be low. And then meaning. A lot of people, like, ask me, or not a lot of people, but, like, I've had a lot of questions. Oh, so is it diss track? Oh, well, guess what? Why'd you give it a lower score? Or, like, why don't you hate, like why don't you like diss tracks even though it's a good bars? Because it's got, even though that meaning was like you were gonna diss that person, whether it's to stop someone from being toxic, or just basically harm them because you think you want to be an asshole and a dick, then that has meaning. But that's literally what I'm going to mean, is, like, if the track has meaning and is just there for you to just get popularity and fame, then literally, oh, I'm fucking tired. Fuck, your score would basically either drop or go up. And that's literally what I'm going to base on. And repetition. And what I mean by repetition is if you literally, I'm saying literally, that should be my fucking catchphrase. No, if you honestly just grab someone else's bars, or if you continue to say the same ass shit in each fucking every song, then it's called repetition. And you're repeating yourself, and then that's not creativity at all. That's just you fucking on a different beat saying the same ass fucking shit. So because of that, well, guess what? That's not creativity at all. And if you honestly want a creativity score on how well you did it, that shit goes drop. But if you say something different every single track, it's gonna go. So that's why. Um, and it's okay for you to just like mention some things that you had mentioned in other tracks, but if you're just like, oh yeah, guess what, I got, like, if you talk about one track about you basically like smoking and drinking and joints with some shit, and you talk about that in a different track, then it's like, really, like, why you being repetitive, man? I could have just wasted my time fucking jacking off in the fucking bathroom without me fucking taking 5 minutes to listen to your garbage. That's literally that's what I'm looking for. Is if your songs are a waste of time, then it's a waste of time to give you a score. That's literally how I feel. And that's honestly what I'm going to be giving an actual score on. Now this one, impactful. If your music and if that track or that album is impactful, or EP I should say, is impactful, then it will get a good score. And what I mean impactful is because diss tracks, I don't like diss tracks because whether it's not to be an asshole or whether or not it's to, basically stop toxic people, it's still a track to diss someone. And what does diss mean? That means to be disrespectful, to be rude, to be hateful, to be angry, harm someone, basically. It's harming someone with mentally thoughts that can basically just make someone either kill themselves or get angry and come back at you. Um, which I strongly advise, if you're a fucking bitch and literally just kill yourself over diss, then you shouldn't do that. Go get fucking help, man. But that's honestly some things that has happened before, because I've heard stories about that. But what I'm looking for is if it's impactful. If you can go and play in a church and not get kicked out, or not have the pastor tell you that it's a shitty track, or you can't have it played in the church, then it's impactful. Like, there's some NF songs that can be played. There's some Tupac songs that can be played in the church. So, there's also some Kendrick songs that can be played. But most of hip hop can't be played, and that's what I'm looking for. I want the hip hop to change. And if you want a good score from me, then you're gonna have to fucking change. You're gonna have to have impact in your music. Because if you don't have impact, then you're not doing something. You're continuing the state of hip hop. You're continuing the cycle that it continues to be disrespectful. That's the reason why hip hop is such a fucking fucked, genre. That's what I'm looking for. And if you don't have creativity, if you don't have actual, if you don't come up with new rhyme schemes, and if you don't have some things that are impactful with fucking emotion, then your track is shit. And that's what I'm looking for. That's the rubric of critique that I'm going to give to your track, your album or your EP, is if it's impactful, clarity, on beat, rhyme schemes, meaning, repetition, if it's basically good, man. Literally. Okay, so the next type of things that I'm going to be critiquing and reviewing on the show is movies or TV shows. Basically, film itself. And I've actually reacted on my other show that's called Reactor's Realm, and I've reacted to one actual full season, the first season of Derry 1959, and it's a fan made type of show with it where he's in like 1959, but what I mean by like it's like all film, and I'm gonna be like looking at like YouTubers who have filmed to people are like, oh damn, I'm fucking tired, man. I don't know if you know what fucking yawning means, but yawning means you bitch gotta go back to sleep. But damn, no, for real. People who are on YouTube that made short films that are on Hollywood, to films that are on Amazon, because if you look it up, there's some films on Amazon that are like those little box, those literally films that were made but weren't made, that didn't make it. If that makes sense. So this is the type of critique that I'm going to give to those films, to all films. If it's creativity, what I mean by creativity, is it original? Did that person come up with that itself? And if they didn't, like a fan fiction story, did they actually come up with that part of the story? Because you can make a fan fiction about like Star Wars, and even though it's not your creative story, your original story, you can still create a story that is in, like, a fan fictional story that's in that world that is originally yours, if that makes sense. And that's what I'm looking for. And Hollywood movies, I'm gonna be looking for creativity if they literally didn't copy other Hollywood movies. And that's what I'm also looking for the next critique spot, which is CGI. How much good CGI was it put in there to make it look realistic, if that's how it is. Because we're in a day and age where movies can be literally looking like documentaries and fucking looking like, oh, it's like it was real, type of shit. Even though it's fiction, don't fucking think it's, oh, Pennywise is real, oh shit. No, that bitch is fake. And then storyline. Is the storyline very good? Like, does it have a good creative storyline? If it doesn't, then it's a low rating. And then repetitive. What I mean by repetitive is, does the things in the story like happen more than once? Like that same occurrence. So in TV shows, like Once Upon a Time, I watched that show until it got weird. I'm still gonna review all the seasons though, so I'm gonna watch all of them. But like, it was just like every season, it was like, oh yeah, they woke up in a fucking curse. Oh, and they woke up in a curse. Oh, and they woke up in a curse. That's what I'm looking. That's what I mean, like repetitive. Is the show or the film repetitive? And that's what I'm looking for. And then because I know some of these movies are, or some of these films are. Is it long to get to the story? Like, is it long to drive the story to the climax and to the resolution? If so, then it gets a low score on that. If not, then if it's just right away, it's not too slow, it's not too fast, it's just right in the middle, then we're talking. Then we're talking good high scores. And then if anything was wasted, if there was something that was wasted, like in there that they could have used for a better like spot. Like there's some things, there's some scenes that I've seen in a lot of films and a lot of TV shows as well that were completely wasted. That scene, that shot, was completely wasted. Like, I don't even know what the fucking director was thinking. Maybe he was wasted or some shit, because that scene could have been better with a different scene that could have helped us out with the storyline. Like, yeah, you got to know those characters' romance stories, but are we really wanting to know Harry fucking fuck, I forgot her name, but do we really want to know Ron fucking Hermione, or the love story, or do we want to know Harry going up against fucking Voldemort? That type of shit. Like those type of scenes are what I'm talking about. And then yeah, so that's my food review. And then on the other thing I review on this show is foods and drinks. So this is how I critique them, and give them a high or lower score. So the ingredients, if the ingredients were healthy, and if the ingredients isn't harmful to your body. Now you can drink a soda and have ingredients that are still unhealthy. I'm not looking for ingredients that are like healthy, like or Cal or some shit. I'm talking about ingredients that are not gonna fucking harm any of your liver or your kidneys or some shit. And that's what I'm looking for ingredients. And then stick to its taste. So like if it's a cherry taste, that shit better taste like cherry. It shouldn't be tasting like some fruit punch. That's what I'm talking about. And then acidicness for any foods or any soda or any sodas. It's not just specific sodas. If any drinks or foods are acidic, then they get a low score, because acidicness is basically toxicness, basically. And then calories. Yeah, calories. I can't talk right now, bros. I literally woke up like 20 minutes ago from this video. And I also have a fucking cold, so. And the calories, man. Calories, if they're high in calories, just for like a single taste, Like, let's take this Code Red for an instance, man. This is 170 calories per bottle, which is very understandable, because it's just like, oh, yeah, you wouldn't understand 170 calories from this. But if it's 170 calories from like a little fucking bottle, you're like, the fuck did you put in that, bro? Like, the fuck type of soda is that? Like fat me up type of soda? What the fuck? Like, that's literally what I'm looking for. And then repetitive. Foods and drinks can be repetitive as well. If that soda and that other, if they have a different flavor from the other soda, it shouldn't taste just exactly like that other soda. Like, I'm not trying to poke on Mountain Dew right now, but Mountain Dew Frostbite kind of just tastes like Mountain Dew Voltage. And that's what I'm looking for, repetitive, in foods and drinks. Is if that food or drink tastes just exactly like this other food or drink. Now it's on a baseline, then that makes more sense. But if it's like, oh, it's meant to be something different, then you can just cut that out. Alright, so that is literally how my rubric on how I review music, how I'm gonna review film, how I'm gonna be reviewing foods, because I'm gonna be also reviewing other shit, but it's gonna go basically on the other lines. Because in the future I'm gonna be reviewing alcohol, marijuana, basically just guns. I'm gonna be reviewing like cars, and I'm also gonna be reviewing basically as much as shit I can get onto. But you guys are the JRayPics. I'm Jeremyray. I'll see you guys later. I salute you guys out. Alright, salute you guys out, and have a nice day.